Our next speaker comes to us from Bayer Consumer Care. He's traveled all the way from Brazil to be here. This is his second year speaking at the summit, and he is also the MC for Room 3. Today he'll be presenting on developing relationships and using effective governance models with suppliers to ensure reliable end-to-end manufacturing compliance. Please welcome to the stage Bayer Consumer Health's Operations Manager for External Manufacturing in Latin America, Luiz Alberto Barberini.
Thank you, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here again, and I'd like to thank you for the invitation. Very good to meet some old friends, some new friends as well, and very happy to be able to share a few of our concepts, a few of our ideas, and what's going on at Bayer's work, and also mention some things about Brazil. So, how many of you have been in Brazil? Only this side? Okay. So, you are all invited to go to Brazil. Okay? You too. Right. So, let's go. The target today is to talk about developing relationships and using effective governance models with suppliers to ensure reliable end-to-end manufacturing compliance. The idea is to go through these points, some common roadblocks of operations in Brazil. So it's interesting to understand what we face in Brazil today, or how's the scenario that we have today, concerning some third PLs, 4PLs, and contract manufacturing companies, right? Talk about our governance model, what do we think is important, how to establish relationships, how to establish the contact and build up the trust that we do need with suppliers, and some concepts and tips that we'd like to share. My objective, my personal objective, is to share our experience, targeted to make your life easier. So I would be very glad if you can take something that we talk about here today and use it into your business. So this is our target, right? Just some introduction, some background about myself. So I used to be a mechanical engineer. I don't know what I am today. It's been so long ago that I don't know, right? But also I'm a quality engineer from American Society of Quality Control. And we had this discussion yesterday about multiple functions or backgrounds from one that works with supply chain. It's really interesting when you have someone that comes from technical teams or from quality or even from finance and jumps into the supply chain world. Okay? And also some other trainings. I'm also certified from APIX, CSCP, CPIM. Okay? With this background, I've worked in these different areas, coaching, warehousing, planning, manufacturing, demand management, procurement. So I've gone through all of this. And currently, besides my work at Bayer, I'm also teaching. I teach supply chain for 10 years. I've been teaching for 10 years in 2 major universities in Brazil. So I'm really engaged on sharing some of our concepts on supply chain. I've worked for these companies in the past, right? Merck, Takeda, Bayer, Pfizer, many of them. Currently, as mentioned, I'm working for Bayer, right? And I'm not taking too long talking about Bayer. Probably a few of you knows Bayer. We have these products, right? So probably you heard about us from these products, okay? But there's just one number that's important for us. One number that summarizes a lot of things. 1.6 billion. And what it is, 1.6 billion? Revenue? No. Yeah. No, global, no. But not revenue. Not SKUs. Customers. This is the point. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the point. 1.6 billion customers. 1.6 billion people uses our products in an everyday basis, right? So, either in US, in Europe, and sometimes we have products like this one. This is Bepanthen, pure vitamin A for the hair. This is for you. For your hair. Okay? You like it. So, what is this about? It's about one product. It's about 1.6 billion and one. I mean, our target at Bayer is really focused on customers. So we try to develop our business focusing on customer needs and how can we reach customers, bring some new experience to our customers. Okay. Brazil is not a country for amateurs. This is a very common speech we have in Brazil. It's not common. We have three ways to have things done: the right way, the wrong way, and the Brazilian way. Right? So it's complex to work in Brazil and to work with Brazilian companies. It's somewhat complex. So I used to say it's about living in an ever-challenging environment with these variables here that impact us: infrastructure, economy, people, process, equipment, technology, and 53 other variables that are important. How many of you knows Anvisa? Yeah. Easy one? No, by no means. Anvisa is a very hard health agency in Brazil, very difficult to negotiate and to deal with, right? But Brazil is an ever challenging environment. So, just some topics about Brazil. Brazil was taken off a few years ago. Yeah, very good country. You could invest that. Very nice place to be. Oh, whoa, something gone wrong, right? What happened in Brazil? This was just a few years after the first The Economist magazine over. And then we had this one. Why Brazil needs change? Brazil's quagmire. Brazil's fell. Time to go. Bye-bye, President Dilma. We have a very good point that we pitched two presidents. We are the only country probably that has impeached two presidents in a few years. So we are very good in doing that. And also we have the betrayal of Brazil, which is corruption. So this is a critical problem for us, right? More recently, we had this new one. So we got a new president in Brazil. We do expect some trends in economy, in politics, and other topics that might affect us in a very good way, right? And by the way, you're not burning up. The forests are not burning. So I would be very glad to talk about that during the coffee break, right? But it's not all that bad. Okay. Some points about Brazil. We had a forecasted growth of 2.4 and 2.5% in the years 18 and 19, right? But suddenly we had a strike. Truck drivers' strike just got us. It was a 10-day strike. So, okay. But you can imagine what happened after these 2 days. Our forecasted growth has just decreased to 1.5%. So we are in a very sensible balance on services and economy and everything, right? So it's very interesting that how sensible we are today in terms of situations like this. Okay. I'll pick up just one of those topics that I've mentioned, kind of infrastructure. Most of the time, we use these nice roads in Brazil, in the southeast region mainly. Okay, very good ones. But sometimes we must overcome these bridges. Okay, we have bridges like this, and yes, it's myself over there, just checking if it could stand a truck. It did very good. Yeah, but it was okay. So we must overcome these bridges to get into these other islands. Oh, I'm sorry. So can you imagine? This is in the north or northeast region of Brazil during the rainy season. And then you send your products to your customer, and the product product is somewhere inside that truck. Right? And then your customer calls you, hey, what about my product? Oh, it's in its way to go. Calm down, it's on the way. Right? So we try to be very optimistic. But this is not the common situation in Brazil, right? But it happens. It happens during the rainy season on the north of Brazil. Sometimes you have vaccines, sometimes you have OTC products. We must deal with that once. So we must go through these highways and find some amazing journeys, some amazing surprises in the journey. Like this, the road to nowhere. It ends up on a river. Wow, one should be prepared for that. Or you can see something like this. Great, yeah, beautiful animals. So imagine you are a truck driver. You are driving your truck and you see those gorgeous animals in the road. And then you get a flat tire. What would you do? Would you change the tire? No. So it's amazing. And you can find something else that's also interesting, like this. This is probably a 32 feet long snake in one of the northeast roads in Brazil. And you can't kill an animal with that. You go to the jail if they catch it. So one of our drivers must stop and wait for this gorgeous animal to go away, right? I used to say that unless it's my wife. My wife said that she would go back and forth to guarantee that it's so, right? So this is something that we have over there. But we have other problems like this. What is this about? Drunk drivers? No. Side winds? No. Maybe sleeping. Interesting that we have so many sleep drivers. Right? But notice what happened here. One truck passed in front of the other one and started doing like that. Saxon drive? I really doubt it. Okay. So all kinds of payloads and all kinds of trucks we have here. And here we have a registered speed of 75 miles per hour. So it's really complex. Okay. I was trying this one. I drove like this. No, I'm joking, I didn't. So this is a contest, a competition between truck drivers. Yeah. It's a competition between truck drivers. What's the point here? One goes in front of the other and they keep filming, and the one shows how are his skills when driving. So the driver does this on purpose, right? To show how he can manage and control the truck, right? Yeah. So the point here is that we try to select our suppliers. We try to prepare our suppliers. Okay? You try to pick up a very good 3PL company, some very good truck drivers, but something like this happens. And why does it happen? Because we rely on people. We rely on people driving the trucks, operating some machineries, working for us as CMOs. So we must always remember that we have people engaged on processes like this. Okay. We must have a reliable CMO selection. First of all, we must start from this. Remembering that today we live in a VUCA world, meaning volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So this is a very difficult world to live on, right? We're facing so many changes. Today, earlier today during the women's panel, we were discussing something about how to best balance your life, your work, how to work from home, for example. This is something that's changing. We were not discussing things like that a few years ago, but And you see, some changes are very simple, like this one from Copperton. For many, many years, we had that picture of the young girl and the tan line, right? We had to change that. So the changes are everywhere, even during our work, during our processes. So the point here is, actually in this world, I need no more problem. I don't want to spend my time managing production, so I'll outsource my production. I'll outsource something. Bayer is also outsourcing, even part of its R&D. So can you imagine how difficult it is to have a German company? I don't know if many of you work for German companies, but they are orthodox, to say the least, right? We are outsourcing R&D, which is our core business. So it's important to understand in which scenario we are engaged today, right? The outsourcing way is something like this, you know that. We have many points to consider. It's a crossroad of decisions on make or buy, cost optimization, reliability, and a few other points like new technologies that can be bring into my production. How's my stepping strategy? Should I produce everything at once or not? So it's very complex. But the outsourcing way is something needed. But when we talk about selection, selecting customers, suppliers, something might be interesting.
Hey there. Looks like you sleep. Like your dress. Looks better off than on. Oh, I'll show you this. I've been going online looking for places for us in Lily's room. Yeah, look at that.
Well, some companies still rely on fate. Right? This is relying on fate, on your business, on your supply. Okay? Things like this might happen. When you can pick up a company, and it might be a very good one, or it might be a nightmare. Right? But this is just to illustrate that we still have, surprisingly, we still have companies selecting their suppliers like this. Okay? So the point here, we must really have a very robust supplier selection process. I will share this with in my presentation, but it goes from a single one buying process to a joint venture business. These are different aspects of selecting your supplier and how you manage your business, how you develop your relationship with your supplier. So one must understand perfectly where are you in this scenario. We are, most of the time here, we are talking about the second block, the external manufacturing, or even the license operations. This is where we are today. So when we talk about external manufacturing, this is the kind of contract manufacturing or consignor relationship that we must have, right? At Bayer's, just a glance on our external manufacturing governance model. I work for operations, external manufacturing operations in the middle, and we manage a virtual team of supply chain, quality, procurement, technical services, and even the supplier is part of this leadership team. Okay, our business is to keep this moving forward. I must support my quality team in getting them together and discussing some topics with my supplier. I must be present with my supply chain guys in order to guarantee that my CMO will deliver whatever we want. Okay? I'm also very happy to talk about that if you want to check. So we can say that we had a very good supplier selection, right? And now we start working with some company. So we do need to establish a very robust partnership with those guys. And everything starts with the customer focus, right? And I'm pretty sure that you've heard about customer focus before, and you do practice customer focus in your companies, right? So this is something on perspective. Actually, it's more than simply perspective. The client will say, hey, I love it, right? But what's the final customer's perspective? Is this one? Okay. This is the user's perspective. So it's something that we must be aware of what we're talking about. And from time to time, perspectives change. Out of this one. One side says, okay, I have 3 bars, the other says I have 4 bars, right? Who's correct here? So different perspectives, different approaches. Here we have the focus on the customer versus the customer's focus. We're talking about different things here. One company might have a focus on the customer. I work with a CMO in Brazil. So every day they call me, hey, how are you? Are you okay? Are you okay for lunch today? Would you like to have some coffee? So they are focusing on me, right? I have another supplier that calls me in the morning and say, hey, I have a good idea for your Barberini product. If we change something in the packaging, I believe we can reach other markets. So this is the different approach that I'm okay. One, focus on the customer. The idea is to fulfill customers' needs for products and services. And the customer's focus is to share my vision, share what I want. So this is what we're looking for. On a simple perspective, something like this. Focus on customers. Kind of fast food, okay? You can serve everyone. You can work for everyone, right? The other one is kind of a gourmet cooking. They know what you want, even better than you, right? They know what you're expecting from a very good meal. And there we must have this balance here. Quality, cost, and compliance, right? So these 3 points are critical for us. On compliance, I negotiate nothing. I do have to work with companies that are full compliant. I accept no fails in compliance. On quality, on the other hand, may I accept something that's not very good in quality? Do you accept something that's not so good in quality? Yes, I can. Yes, we can accept it for a short period of time. Meaning, I have an audit on a supplier. They have some points that can be improved, and we set a time schedule for that. I say, okay, you have 2 months to fix those things, and I can negotiate this with the supplier. And cost, this is fully negotiable, right? These 3 points are the basis of our discussions with our suppliers. Okay? But we also have some points here that are the key relationship factors that we use to talk. And these are the basis of the way that we think we should manage one of our suppliers. The first is the bacon and eggs. Okay? So, probably some of you have heard about this before. Yeah? Yeah, great. So, basically, the concept here is, during your breakfast, when you ask for bacon and eggs, the chicken is involved, but the pork is committed. Okay? This is the concept. What kind of relationship do you really want with your suppliers? You want a kind of relationship that one is just involved, or one that's very committed with your business and committed with your products? So this is what you must strive for. This is the kind of relationship one really needs to have when talking about CMO governance or 3PL, 4PL. Okay? Does it make sense? Yeah, it makes. The second one, a key relationship factor, it's conflict versus confront. What's the difference between both of them? Conflict, it's a situation that sometimes it's needed. Sometimes we do need some conflicts. Have you ever been into an SNOP meeting where everything is settled down and no one discusses, no one argues, and everything's fine? Have you been? I have been. I went into this sales and operations planning, and everything was friendly talking. Hey, no fights today, no discussions. No, we're all okay. Okay, the business was terrible, but they were very friendly. Well, they work in a very friendly manner. I mean that conflict is the situation where you start some discussion and you pose your arguments, you pose your ideas, you hear other ideas, and you get into a conflict of ideas. This is very good. Of course, unless if it's with your wife, then I recommend not to do it. Okay. So it might drive you to the second part, which is the confront. Right? The confront is the situation where no further talking, no further discussion, no further arguments, so you're breaking away. So we do try to have some conflicts with our partners in terms of conflict of ideas, but we must avoid the confront. The confront is the situation that no negotiation, no relationship, and you say goodbye. Can't see you. And our third relationship factor is paddleball game. So I come from Brazil, right? Nice beaches. We have caipirinha, we have picanha. Does anyone knows about that? What I'm talking about? Caipirinha? Yeah. All of those that went to Brazil knows about what caipirinha is. Okay. It's a national drink, very, very good. So, what's one of the very nice things we do? We stay at the beach playing paddleball, and stay long time playing paddleball with my partner. What's the difference between paddleball and tennis? Any idea? No. Yeah, this is one. The tennis, the idea is to throw the ball in such a way that the other guy will miss and the ball will hit the ground. Okay? This is what I intend when I play tennis. I give my partner a very bad ball so he can't beat it back and I score. Right? On the paddleball, quite the contrary. The fun of the game is keeping the ball in the air. And the real joy of this game is keep playing for hours and always with the ball in the air. In order to do that, I need to give my opponent, not opponent, but I need to give him a good ball so he can give it back for me, a very good ball. What kind of game do you play with your CMOs? Do you play tennis or do you play paddleball? You're smiling, yeah? What kind of game do you play? Sometimes our companies, we play tennis. You say, hey, this is not my problem. It's his problem. Oh, the game will be over soon, right? It's much better when you say, okay, I'll give him a very good ball, so he can produce, he can deliver, he can package, he can do anything, and give it back to me in a very good situation. You know? So this is a kind of engagement. There's a question that I used to pose that how many of you invite your third PLs to your SNOP meetings? No one. This is quite regular. In an SNOP meeting, you would discuss sales plan, volumes, customers. Why not to engage your third PL as soon as possible so they can be better prepared to work for you? You know? You'd be discussing a 3-month scenario so they can be better prepared. It's a good idea to have, right? And there's an additional key relationship factor here. So can you imagine, I live in Brazil where we speak Portuguese. I have my suppliers in Colombia and Argentina speaking English. I have my project, one project manager in Switzerland speaking English as well. Very bad English. Actually, he speaks German, but he tries to speak English. And we try to communicate and engage everybody in different languages. So it's important to understand how communication can be important in our processes, right? Most of you work with companies here in the US, but if you have other partners in other countries, please be aware of the communication factor, okay? How do you keep the logistics supply partner focused on your KPIs? Does it seem familiar for some of you? Through the adequate relationship model. And who said that? Matthew Roberts, yesterday from Tiva. He was here, and he mentioned about that. I mean, I'm saying nothing new, right? We must have the adequate relationship model. This is the point. Most of us works on the proper supplier selection, but don't focus on how to keep them, right? We're not alone. Most of us discuss this point, and there are many companies discussing this one as well. I have 30 seconds to ask you for a favor. On your mobile phones or computers, please go to www.menti.com, and they ask for one code. This is the code below, right? And you answer just one word. What does contract manufacturing mean to you? I have 30 seconds, and I've promised Mark that I will not go over that. Okay. Just one word. And I'll later share with you the results of this. But, and my 30 seconds have gone. Probably we see something very related to this. The words that I use to collect are these ones: partnership, flexibility, relationship, the most focused, outsourcing, collaboration. Also, we have some nice words like mistakes, expertise, trouble, and there's another very interesting one, voodoo. So, can you imagine which bad mood was that guy when he voted for this, right? So I'll share the results of this research with you when I share my presentation, right? So, long story short, it's all about managing business and relationship with transparency, honesty, and collaboration. Try to do your best so they can do their best. This is very important. Be transparent, be honest, and have a sincere collaboration. This will be shared in the presentation. This is our Bayer's strategy, right? So it's interesting to say that we are based on safety, quality, compliance, health, and environment. Some other companies, some other colleagues shared the same concepts yesterday, so we're talking about the same basement. And these are the pillars of our strategy. Okay? 100% of customers are people. 100% of employees are people. If you don't understand, oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So 100% of your customers, people. So if you don't understand people, you can't do that, right? Very simple, okay? Some takeaways. Be present. Your partner must feel you with them. It's not only their word. Ask yourself how to make their life easier and celebrate. These are Brazilian chocolates that I used to take to my CMOs every time something goes wrong, right? So those are the main topics I'd like to share with you, right? My final message is this one. So And I'm very glad to answer any question and to talk about any of these points. Okay? Thank you so much. And if you can check plenty and code, use that code, you can also